102.7 WMOM 752, 8 now before the top of the hour. Good morning, West Michigan. Chris here with you. And so is Jacob Seng. Jacob, how you doing? Welcome back.
I'm doing great.
You are always glowing in the morning. And what time do you wake up in the morning?
I usually get up about 5:30.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So by this time, you've kind of like, you've almost conquered the world in a sense, right?
Had my coffee, right? Got my son ready for school. And
That's cool. You had mentioned that it was kind of hectic with the drop-off today.
It was busy.
Yeah.
We were running just a little behind.
No, it's all right. But well, welcome back into the studio. We're going to be talking about a very important topic, and that is how to raise that healthy family that that's always a goal for all of us, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we have kind of that toxic world out there. We have issues that blindside us that every day we wake up and it's like, oh man, where has things gone that we need to reel them back, right?
Right. And that's the whole inspiration was just what you're speaking into is, there's so many unknowns, and I feel like in the situation with raising a family, we all have to make our decisions as based, for our individual needs, but knowledge is power. And I feel like there's things out there that we just don't know, and if I can shed some light and my staff can shed some light on what actually is gonna help or hurt your family, we're gonna do just that. Mm-hmm. We're gonna provide that information.
And that goes, I mean, you have NorthStar Chiropractic, and we always think about getting adjusted and so on and so forth, but It is truly body and mind, and we use that not as just a kind of an off the cuff slang. It is truly, we want to make sure that we can walk through this world strong and confront those issues that might be in front of us.
Absolutely. We look at it like, I talk about this a lot, is there's a continuum in life, right? On one end of the line, there's sickness, and on the other end of the line is fitness, and in the middle sits wellness, right? Mm-hmm. And so, depending on and we can measure those things. We can measure your BMI, we can measure your blood pressure, we can measure your blood sugar, and depending on those numbers, we could push you towards fitness or we can push you towards sickness. The beautiful thing is the farther you get towards the fitness end of the spectrum, if something catastrophic happens in your life, like your brother dumps you out of a golf cart around July 4th, which happened to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
And
we will talk about that in the future here.
Right. And so I had this catastrophic thing happen, mm-hmm. but because I was closer towards that fitness end of the spectrum and I had that setback, I got pushed back more towards wellness. Now, however, if I was sitting in the middle of the spectrum and maybe I was on a couple meds and maybe I was dealing with some other underlying health issues and that happened, I would have been pushed further towards sickness, towards the other side of the spectrum. Mm-hmm. And so that's what we try to do in our office, between the office and the gyms and the education processes. We try to help people on that journey to get towards that one end of the spectrum, towards fitness, where their numbers are all in line, they're feeling good, their mind is right, and everything is tracking, so that when life does throw you a curveball, it doesn't set you way back.
Good point.
Right.
Here's a question for you, and I would assume that part of that answer is you can do it at the same time, but in your experience doing this for 12, 13 years?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Is it the mind that should come first, or is it the body?
That's the beautiful thing, is that you have a choice.
Okay.
Right? And we talk about this in the office, and sometimes it's easier for some of us just to change our body, and then our mind will follow. For half of the population, they can change their mind and their body will follow. But in any case, doing nothing, creating no change, results in no change.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah. So something has to shift in order to create change down the line in your life. And my personal case is I've always found it easier to get moving my body, changing my body, and then my mind follows. Okay. But like I said, there's people who are so mentally strong that they'll just decide and they'll make that shift, and then their body catches up to it. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool. And it's nice that, we're all different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you have to take that approach with people. And
absolutely.
And that's part of the how to raise a healthy family in a toxic world.
Yes.
That we're going to be talking about not only today, but you're going in depth on March 15th. What time?
6:15, right in the chiropractic office.
All right.
Yep.
And people can sign up right now?
Yep, right through our Facebook page, we have an event. You can sign up right through there. That way we can know how many, chairs to have set up and everything ready for when the people come. And we had a call yesterday. Kids are welcome if they, they're welcome to run around and if they want to listen, they can listen. But we'll definitely, bring the family if you'd like.
Well, and that brings up that additional question is how young is too young in regards to focusing on that body, focusing on the mind. You deal with this all the time, right?
All the time, right? Like we use the phrase like if the twig is bent, so grows the tree. So it does matter, right? Setting that healthy foundation right from the jump makes a huge difference because it's much easier to maintain something over time than it is to fix. And, myself included throughout my journey and my health and things like that, like there were habits that were created in my childhood that I very much had to try to overcome as I got into in my adult years.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And, so when we talk into that, it sounds scary. We talk about the toxic world, but, really like, the toxicity of a substance is its ability to cause harmful effects, right? And so in the workshop, we're going to talk about chemical toxicity and biological toxicity and behavioral and physical, and it sounds worse than, what it is, but like when we talk chemical toxicity, a lot of times we talk about what's in our food, right? Because there's chemicals within our food they're causing harm, right? And the one thing I love about doing these talks is I get to do research, right? Because I want to present like the leading things, like what are the things that are on the forefront of both people's minds and their newsreel, right? So I just read that Ritz crackers were outlawed in European countries and Canada. Yeah, I didn't know that. We were practically raised on Ritz crackers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I was like, why are Ritz crackers outlawed? Well, come to find out, it's due to trans fat, right? So trans fat is that partially hydrogenated oils. So in America, if a serving size has half a gram of trans fat, it can be labeled as 0 trans fat.
Really?
Everywhere else, right, in the world, it cannot. And the reason why trans fat is so bad is because a 2% increase in trans fat in your diet leads to a 23% increase in coronary artery disease.
Okay.
So I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Right. And here I am. I live this healthy lifestyle. I sell a healthy lifestyle. I talk to people about how to improve their health. And this is laying there right in front of me. And I didn't know. Yeah. And so it's these kind of things that we have to present to the world so that they just understand. Now, as long as you know that whether you choose or choose not to continue to eat Ritz crackers, that's entirely up to you. But at least now you have that information in front of you.
And that's what part of the March 15th event is being able to really dive into some of these. If you don't know, this is and we can make our decisions. I think that's the most important thing that you brought up is that if we have the information, then we can decide: do we want to put this in our body? Do we want to continue to consume that? Because overall, we want to be healthier. We want to live longer. I mean, I think most people walk through life thinking that I want to be healthy, I want to live longer. Yes. And having that information and having it come from somebody like you that is dealing with this on a daily basis, I think is crucially important.
100%. And I don't necessarily know if it's an extension of our life, but we want to live the most fulfilling life possible for as long as possible. And then when it is time to exit this planet, we do so in a manner that is healthy, right? Yeah. We do so in a way like I always talk about how, the graph of life, right? So as things trend upward, right, it goes up, 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 and we're having this fulfilling life, and we're not ever having that decline, right? Where there's this study that says in the last 6 months of life, the average American spends $250,000, and that's in medical care.
Yeah, I believe
right.
It.
And so we have this slow decline as we exit. I basically want to see my life, my line graph of life just go up, and then when it's time to go, it just drops right off, right? So we're not ever being trapped in our bodies. We're not ever being, beholden to our doctors to keep us alive for all these, whether it's on a stack of meds or hospital care or things like that, And so trying to create this shift with people to realize like this is the average, right? How do you want to be? How do you want to express yourself? How do you want your life to be lived?
Good information.
Yeah.
Anything else that we're going to learn as well that you want to sneak peek for everybody?
So like more along the lines of the chemical toxicity and food additives. This was another one that I stumbled across is Skittles.
Okay. I
Maybe
like Skittles.
I
Okay,
know.
don't tell me I can't eat Skittles.
So I did not realize Skittles has the highest concentration of food dye than any candy.
Wow, I didn't.
And
know.
then on top of that, there's titanium dioxide in it, which kind of changes the opacity of the food colorings and things like that. But anyway, again, outlawed Canada and European countries.
Wow.
Right. And so why is that? So again, I dive in, and then it says, outlawed due to the food dyes, and then the titanium dioxide, right? So titanium dioxide, so I pull up titanium dioxide, like what's going on with titanium dioxide, literally causes DNA damage, leading to an increased incidence of cancer. And so I'm just like, oh my goodness. Yeah. Again, I didn't know this. I knew that food dyes were bad, and I limited them for my son. Crazy story. So red 40 definitely affects the brain chemistry, and my son throughout his, early on when he was a toddler, and then as he got older in the kindergarten and stuff, and when we were out to dinner one time, and he asked for a lemonade, and I always, I would always have them cut it in half with water. So I said, yeah, he can have lemonade, just go 50-50 lemonade and water. And they bring him his drink, and it's capped, and it's a plastic cup, and he's drinking. All of a sudden, he's going crazy. And he looks over at my sister-in-law and licks her face. And I go, Tommy, what are you doing? And because this is so out of character for my kid. And then I lift open the lid, and it was pink lemonade.
Oh, okay.
And what do you think pink lemonade has in it but a ton of red 40? So like red dye, red 40, food additives, food dyes, definitely affect the body. And if they're outlawed everywhere else in the world, why are we dealing with it here? Why is it okay here? And we're not good. Like, unfortunately, for us as individuals to change, food additives and things like that, that's a tough road to hoe. But we can affect our family. We can say, okay, if you want this, maybe in limited quantities, or we just don't do it at all. And again, empowering people to make those decisions.
Why, from a chiropractic standpoint, is this important for you to get this information out to people?
Just like what you were saying, like one system of our body doesn't work independently of the others, right? So like, because, I am a chiropractor and I treat, musculoskeletal issues and the alignment of the spine and the nervous system, but our nervous system is affected by what we put in our body, what we think in our mind, how we express ourselves physically, like all of those things plays a role into its spine. And so we can't address one without at least talking or addressing the others.
Good points.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The event, what's the official category of this event? Is it clinical, or is it a...
It's like family health and wellness.
Okay.
I guess if I had to put a a label on it.
And cost?
No cost.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
no,
okay.
absolutely no cost. It's going to be about I'm going to say about a 45-minute presentation, and then we'll take questions and things like that for people. So if there are some pressing issues that they want to discuss or think, we'll do our level best to answer those questions for you.
All right, sounds good. It's March 15th at NorthStar Chiropractic, right there on Rath, right?
Yep,
Okay,
right.
there we
South
go.
Rath, 311 South Rath. That's right.
I almost put you on South James Street again, but that was the previous. I'm like, yeah, I'm on Rath. Right. And no, but yeah, it's on March 15th at 6:15 p.m. And people can sign up right on your Facebook page.
Yeah,
which is
right
pretty
through
awesome.
our Facebook page. That's the best way to sign up.
All right, sounds
Yeah.
good. Jacob, anything that we missed this morning that we should hint on?
No, I mean, come check out the rest of it. Like we just touched on chemical toxicity today, but we got 3 other big categories that we're going to get into.
Okay.
And like I said, and it's an hour of your day. It might just change the way you raise your family and live your life.
It's great. Awesome. All right. I love it. It's right there at NorthStar Chiropractic. If people want to find more information, obviously your Facebook page, you have a website too people can go to?
Yep. nstarchiro.com. That's our website. And we will be streaming the health talk as well.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yes.
All right. Sounds good. Check it out. NorthStar Chiropractic doing a lot of great things. Jacob, we appreciate you always coming in. And thanks for all that you do for the community.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It is 8:06 here on 102.7 Mom FM. Let's kick off the 8 o'clock hour next on Mom FM.
Thanks for making